welcome to Sidestreets and Intersections here on IntellectualRadio.com. I am your host, Angela Champ, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Whether you are tuning in via radio or actually watching me live via Facebook, I just want to say that thank you. There are a lot of other places that you could be, but I'm kind of glad it snowed. That means you snowed in. So that gives you the opportunity to hear me and what I'm going to talk about on this evening. So, several days ago, I had the opportunity to view a documentary, if you will, entitled The 13th. The 13th is based on the American Legislative Exchange Council. So, you all may have heard the term or acronym ALEC. Well, I'm going to break it down to you what that means. The topic on this evening is that our Black brothers are an endangered species. And this particular organization, which was, and I have to correct myself, that during the election, I said go and vote, and I was somewhat adamant if you're talking about the lesser of two evils. The reality of it is that neither Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton would make great presidents, period. So how does that tie into the American Legislative Exchange Council? Hillary Clinton and her husband actually signed off on a bill which would make sure that Black men, as she referred to them as predators, that they would most definitely be incarcerated. And so I just want to let my Black brothers and sisters know out there, particularly if you have someone who's incarcerated, make sure that you are adamant about protecting their rights. Make sure you ask questions. And I know that it can become cumbersome and it can be very taxing when a person has continuously shown themselves to not have your support. But let me just say this. For a person who has worked in the system for 18 years now, I understand that these systems are not designed to rehabilitate your loved one. The system is designed to keep your loved one incarcerated. So we must understand that. Now, I'm not proposing that if you're working in this particular judicial system, that you not have a way to make money. But I would also say that you need to exert and exercise your options with respect to the job that you take on and the task that will be involved. So just listen to this. It says that certain activities that this organization supports. First of all, it's a nonprofit organization, and the Republicans, they get together, Democrats, they all get together, and they literally find ways to keep our Black brothers in prison. Okay, so ALEC, it provides a forum for state legislators and private sector members if you know that there has been an increase in these privatized jails. Okay, there's a lot of money to be made on the backs of our brown brothers and sisters. Free labor. Now, they have a term called convict leasing. Just like you lease a car, they lease convicts. You heard it. Yes, you heard it from me, Angela Champ, here on Sidestreets and Intersections on IntellectualRadio.com. Yes, we are an iHeart radio station, and yes, you did hear from me. They have a program called convict leasing. So you ready for it? Let's break it down. When other jurisdictions are in short demand of inmate workers, they call a county, say Cook County, Marion County, or any other county, DuPage County, and they say we're short on inmate workers. So what they do is they then upgrade the inmate, or they tell the pretrial detainee that there's an overcrowding in the jail and that they're going to be shipped to a different county. Well, what it does for the particular individual, particularly if he has a mindset that, oh, I'm tough, I'm bad, they upgraded me. No, they just sold you. They leased you out to another county for free labor. Does that sound familiar? Sounds like the slave trade to me. Do your homework, people. Once again, and while it's a legal entity, it receives quite enough of public scrutiny. And interesting, it's been reported in the New York Times, Bloomberg, Business Week, and it is an organization where corporate interests outsize influence. Corporate interests. So I want you to understand that. So that means that if I can get my t-shirts made, I can get license plates made. Hell, even if I want to have cars built, why should I have to pay somebody $30,000, $40,000, $60,000 to build a car when I can lease a convict and have them build it for $1 a day? Sounds crazy? It's really going on. I just want to take this time out to thank some of my viewers. Cecil, I see you out there. Kelly, thank you for tuning in. LaShawn Crape, you're always a big supporter. And Monica, thank you guys for really tuning in. This is really serious. And so I want to ask those who are listening out there, call in if you feel, if you have something you want to say at 708-223-8953 so that we can discuss this 13th, the American Legislative Exchange Council. Now, it is really unfortunate. And let me just also talk about how they make these so-called laws. These laws are not designed to protect the public interest. These laws are designed to keep your loved one in prison. The other thing that we need to educate our young men on is that if they find themselves in trouble, stop putting your signature on everything. When you put your signature on any document, you give that entity control over you. You don't necessarily have to sign a document. They use tactics of intimidation to get you to believe that you must sign it. It's getting deep out here. And so I've learned, after dealing in the environment for 18 plus years, I started asking myself, am I really contributing to the problem, or I'm helping to resolve the problem? And in my heart of hearts, I initially thought taking the job would be about having control, being about, I am able to carry a weapon. And what I have come to learn, that I was a part of the problem. Now, I'm not suggesting that if you need to feed your loved one, that you don't take on that job, but understand what it comes with. There is a concept called the Abilene paradox. Now, the Abilene paradox is when you are going alone to get alone, even though your core of who you are says what they're doing and what they're saying isn't right. So you find yourself in this internal dilemma, i.e., it makes sense why the suicide rate, the level of alcoholism, as well as the divorce rate continues to increase with individuals working in law enforcement. Because most of us are working these jobs that go against the core of who we really are, just for the sake of the mighty old dollar. But what I want you to understand is that whether you do 18 years, 15 years, and or 30 years, are you doing 30 years of your own labor or labor that has been imposed upon you, which makes you still what? An indentured servant. Don't get mad at me. I'm just a messenger. I'm going to take a musical break and then we're going to come back and we're going to revisit this topic, our Black brothers and endangered species. I am Angela Champ for Sidestreets and Intersections here on Intellectual Welcome back to Side Streets and Intersections here on IntellectualRadio.com. We are an iHeart radio station, and if you feel that you have any questions, and if you're looking for an opportunity to host your own show here on IntellectualRadio.com, please do not hesitate to call 708-223-8953. Now, getting back to our subject matter, our brothers and endangered species. So, allied corporations that have been identified that support this legislative council are companies such as Aramark. That's the organization that supplies food to the inmates inside of the jail. Okay. Some of these companies have been pulling out once they were, it was realized that they had ties and they were in support of this organization. Now, listen, you have Hillary Clinton and her husband who called and referred to our Black brothers as predators. Our Black brothers. So your brothers, your uncles, your husbands, your boyfriends, your sons, your nephews have all been referred to as a predator. That is the lowest of the low. So I just want you all to understand that corporations identified as being involved with the American Legislative Exchange Council since ALEC has been exposed in 2011, relying upon the most recently available documentation or communication. And so I'm just going to read off some of the corporate trade groups here. You have the Academy of General Dentistry, purchased a 2-year membership in ALEC's Health and Human Services Task on January 16, 2013. Air Transport Association of America, American Association of Christian Schools. Now, this is an organization of Christian schools that has historically been a voice for Christian education in Washington, D.C. Today, that purpose is carried on with even greater vigor, protecting member schools from government entanglement. Isn't that something? Christian educated schools are supporting ALEC. The American Bail Coalition. The American Bail Coalition. American Association of Health Plans. American Chemistry Council. Doesn't this ring a bell? That all these different organizations that I'm currently reading off are not looking to help your loved one, but hurt them. You have to realize that being an inmate is, or investing in an inmate is money. How is it that they will pay? It costs more to incarcerate one inmate, pretrial detainee, than to educate them for 4 years. People, it's big business. Big business. So we're going to go back to some of the other organizations that support ALEC. You have the American Petroleum Institute, the American Massage Therapy Association. This is crazy. American Tort Reform Association. So, Americans Natural Gas Alliance, and America's credit unions. Y'all heard me. Credit unions got in on this. They have identified our Black brothers, our Black husbands, our Black boyfriends, our Black nephews, our uncles as predators. And there's big money that's being put behind them to make sure that when they are incarcerated, that they stay behind bars. And I know from personal experience, having had siblings that were locked up, it is very taxing on the family when they have decided to go a route that is not supportive or indicative of who they really could become. But nevertheless, I don't want you to give up on them. We have to take care of our own people because nobody else will. Now listen to this psychology, okay? It's gotten to the point where they say you can't discipline your children. So they come into the system, and now the state is their mother and their father. They do whatever they want to do with them. So it's even gotten to the point now where, as you can see, even law enforcement, and I'm not condoning any abuse toward anyone, but even law enforcement has lost a lot of control. Because these associations like ALEC and many of these other associations that you don't know about, they want your loved one to think that they are entitled to something. Because what that guarantees is that they'll be back. They'll be locked up again. Because it's what the sense of entitlement, they got them locked up in the first place. So now you reinforce that in the institution to assure that not only will they come back, but their kids will come back. Simple strategy, worth billions. Our Black brothers, you are an endangered species. It would behoove you to read. In the information age, there is no reason for any of our brothers to be misinformed on the issues that are prevalent and impact their life. Because if you're not around, then you can't procreate. Now, interesting, I was trying to figure out, now some of you all may take offense to what I'm going to say, but here we go. Obama, we love him on a lot of levels. But I asked the question, what specifically has he done for the African American child? Every other organization, Kennedy, I believe he had put someone on the moon. Now, not that I'm against anything or anyone, but all these other groups, they have all these rights. What does the African American young male in lieu of all the killings that have been taking place? What bill, and if somebody knows this, please inform me, call in 708-223-8953. What bill has he put in place to ensure that there will be even a sense of more scrutiny when it comes to killing our Black children? I'm waiting. Now, don't everybody call at once. This is really, really serious. I'm just going to go. You even have, this is deep, the Association of Private Sector Colleges and Universities. You know, it's just interesting. And, oh, Obama just said the pipeline, and he said that it has no power. Oh, he stopped the pipeline and said that he has no power. We all have power. We can do whatever we so desire. And particularly if you're in an office, the highest office in the nation, you have power. It's just how you exert that power. So anyway, this is getting deep. Centra. Now you all know Centra. It's one of the largest private developers of transport infrastructure in the world. Commerce, insurance, economic development. They even got, or even have, I'm sorry, Carpet and the Rug Institute. Now come on, this is just getting ridiculous. Edison Electric Institute, Dallas Fort Worth Metropolitan New Car Dealers Association. All these people are behind putting your loved one in jail and keeping them there. So what I need for you all to do out there, that if you have somebody who is incarcerated, start asking questions. Start lobbying on behalf of your loved one. I know they get on our nerves. You get tired of sending them money on commissary. They just mess ups. But at any rate, they still are ours, and they must be taken care of. Oh, wow. So this is getting deeper, right? The Illinois Chamber of Commerce is behind ALEC. The Indiana Chamber of Commerce, Independent Insurance Agents of America. This is just too much. All of these different organizations are behind keeping our Black brothers and sisters locked up. That's why it pays. Oh, I'm sorry. I just had a moment right here, right? The National Pawnbrokers Association. And you know, brothers and sisters, we know we go pawn some stuff. Keep it real. Y'all know we go pawn some stuff when times get hard. Well, you paying to support an organization that keeps your young Black boy locked up. So I'm asking that you do your homework. Anytime you're going to work for an organization, anytime you're going to go purchase something from a store, understand where your dollars are going. I believe Walmart was even a supporter at one time. And when they got exposed, they pulled out. This is crazy. So you're probably sitting there thinking, I didn't know this. I also want to share with you that there are certain places that, for example, I won't purchase gas. And I try not to purchase gas at Shell stations. Because if you understand the history of Shell, they were in support of apartheid. The more you know, the further you go, people. I'm just saying. So when you think about your loved one being locked up, and I know a lot of time They get on your nerves. But we must be diligent in our roles as leaders. We must do our research. We must provide the level of resources, the expertise, and know how to execute when it comes to protecting our loved ones. Now, we know the holidays are upon us. And I'm not saying, because everybody's not the same. And I'm not suggesting that you would not partake in something that you've done always. But ask yourself, when you go out and buy these toys, what is it supporting? Are you just buying this toy to please this child, knowing that that toy that you bought to please that child was designed so that you would buy it, so that you would enable that child and help him to remain behind bars? I know that's deep. Maybe it's even out left field for a lot of you that are maybe listening and or viewing me on this evening. But don't get mad at me. I'm just a messenger. However, it is incumbent upon me that when I come across information, that I share it. So often we get mad at the messenger and we miss the message. Now, one would say, well, sometimes your delivery may be a little abrasive. Don't get mad at my delivery. You should be mad at them constantly killing our children. On that note, I'm going to take a musical break and we're going to come back and we're going to continue the discussion on our Black brothers. They are an endangered species. I am Angela Champ for Side Streets and Intersections here on IntellectualRadio.com. Welcome back to Side Streets and Intersections here on IntellectualRadio.com. I am your host, Angela Champ, and I just want to say that I want to thank you for tuning in on this evening, on this snowy evening. I just want to say that if you have any questions or you're looking to explore the opportunity of hosting your own show, please do not hesitate to call 708-223-8953. While I was on the musical break, I continued to look at some of the companies that are in support of this organization: ExxonMobil, Kraft Foods, State Farm Insurance, UPS, American Water, AT&T, Coca-Cola. Now, Coke announced on April 4th, 2012, that it had elected to discontinue its membership with ALEC. But why would you support in the first place? Are you pulling out because the public have found out? Or are you actually saying that you are against an organization that would work, and its overall objective is to make sure that our African American men and women remain behind bars with no future ahead of them. Interesting. State Farm. So all you people that love State Farm, when you pay that premium every month, I want you to understand what you're paying into. So, pardon my language, you're getting screwed twice. You're paying for a premium where you might not ever have an accident, and you're paying to make sure that our black brothers and sisters remain behind bars. Way to go, my people. You have got to read. You've got to research. We are the largest consumer of goods, and yet we own little to nothing in comparison to every other person. Something is wrong with that picture. So I would like, for those that are listening out there, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Facebook, to make the commitment that you will exercise your right to diligently research any organization that you pay money to. Even when you buy these toys over the holiday, why is there so much pressure? We know it's capitalism, we know everything's been commercialized, but why is there so much pressure that they're pushing Christmas in October? It's not to get you in the holiday spirit. At the end of the day, it's all about making money. How long will you continue to be an indentured servant to the system? This is deep. I just want to say thank you, Cynthia Ford, for listening. Patrick Baggett, thank you for viewing. Vera, I just wanted Victoria Brown, thank you guys for tuning in. I drove out in the snow because I am on a mission. And my mission is to help to change the lives of my people. I didn't know when I was going through the things that I was going through in the last several years that my sole purpose is now being identified. And that purpose is to impact change for our people. Now, if you notice that anyone that comes with a mass of information, they try to shut them down, or they try to say that they're crazy, or they try to put all these different labels on them. The truth hurts. Also, Chris Montez Jenkins, you were here in the show. I want to thank you as well for tuning in. You know, you and I, we battled back and forth about different issues. But at the end of the day, you are still my brother, and we agree on a lot of the subject matter. And I'm sure on this evening that this is a subject matter that requires more than an hour. And we're going to have to come back and we're going to revisit this. And it's amazing how time really flies when you are giving out good information. So the next time you go by that macaroni and cheese that says Kraft, know that 69 cents that you paid is 69 cents that's putting the chains on our people. State Farm Insurance, UPS, Energy Future Holdings, Coca-Cola. This is deep. I'm going to come back. This is Angela Chen for Sidestreets and Intersections here on IntellectualRadio.com. A moment to ponder. Welcome back to Sidestreets and Intersections here on IntellectualRadio.com. I am your host, Angela Champ. And if you are looking for an opportunity to host your own show, please do not hesitate to call 708-223-8953. I just want to remind everyone that we are an iHeart radio station and we are also heard on Spreaker. So make sure that you download the app and that you tune in. So I want to talk about the Illinois politicians that support ALEC. Now, ALEC is a corporate bill mill. That's what it is. It's not just a lobby or a front group. It is much more powerful than that. Through ALEC, corporations hand state legislators their wish lists to benefit their bottom line. Yes, I said it. They pay money so that they can get their bills passed. Corporations fund almost all of ALEC's operations. They pay for a seat on the ALEC task force, where corporate lobbyists and special interest group rep vote with elected officials to approve model bills. So let's talk about some of these people who are from Chicago and they support ALEC. From the House of Representatives, these are your Illinois legislators with ALEC ties. Patricia Bellick, Health and Human Services Task Force member. Representative Tom Cross, R97, Civil Justice Task Force member. Representative James B. Durkin. Yes, I said it, James B. Durkin. Told a constituent in October 2012 that he receives position papers and correspondence from ALEC and intends to attend. He attended the 2013 ALEC annual meeting in Chicago. Can you believe it? They meet. Mike Fortner. He is R49 Communications and Technology Task Force member. Renee Kosel, former ALEC State Chairman and International Relations Task Force member. Brandon Phelps, Energy, Environment, and Agricultural Task Force member. Well, as of 2012, let me correct myself that he is no longer a member of ALEC. You also have Representative Jill W. Tracy, R94, ALEC Tax and Fiscal Policy Task Force. As part of the Senate, you have Senator William E. Brady, Senator Kirk W. Dillard, Senator David Luchfield, Senator Matt Murphy, Senator Christine Regagno, Senator Chapin Rose, Senator David Siverson. Former representatives that support ALEC: Franco Caladiapetro, Sandy Cole, Roger L. Eady, James Meyer. So what I'm saying, at the end of the day, my listeners, when you go to vote, know who you're voting for. Don't listen to the commercials and get caught up into the songs that they sing. Vote, 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 vote. That's to take you off focus. Make sure that when you vote for someone, you know why you're voting for them and that you understand the issues that they support and the organizations that they also support. Well, we are coming to an end. And I want to say that we also need to understand that this subject matter cannot be done in 1 hour. I like to come back for my listeners and my viewers to talk about ALEC, the American Executive Legislative Council, that makes sure that your African American male child, as well as your African American female child, will not only be incarcerated, but their goal is to keep them there for free labor. I am Angela Champ, your host for Sidestreets and Intersections here on IntellectualRadio.com. Until next week, if you're hungry, it's because you must be fed.